You know, I still get chills thinking back to that night in the ER at St. Mary's Hospital up in Portland. It's one of those stories that sticks with you. Not because it's all dramatic fireworks, but because it feels so damn real, like the kind of mess life throws at you when you're least expecting it. Picture this. The doors burst open around midnight, and in stumbles this woman, Maria Gonzalez, clutching her little girl, Mia, who's barely breathing, face pale as a ghost, tiny chest heaving like she's fighting for every gasp. Maria hits her knees right there on the cold tile floor, tears streaming, begging anyone who'll listen, please. God, save my baby. She's only 5. She didn't do anything wrong, and the whole waiting room goes dead quiet. Folks shifting in their seats, pretending not to stare. But the doc behind the counter, this guy Dr. Harlano, relation to our hero, thank goodness, just peers over his glasses like she's interrupting his coffee break, asks for insurance papers, and when Maria fumbles through her torn purse, pulling out this old gold locket that's been in her family forever, thrusting it forward with shaking hands like it's her last lifeline, he slides it back with a sneer, saying, "Ma'am, this isn't a pawn shop. Rules are relentless: no payment, no treatment. Step aside before I call security." Man, you could feel the air thicken, Maria's face crumbling as she claws at the counter, whispering through sobs that Mia's fever spiked out of nowhere, that she's a single mom scraping by on waitress shifts, no fancy coverage. But come on, it's a kiddo, isn't that count for something? And Harlan just hardens his jaw, bats her hand away from the buzzer like she's some nuisance, muttering about how the system keeps the lights on, how they can't bend for every sob story, leaving her there on the floor, world closing in, that helpless rage bubbling up because, damn it, when it's your child, you'd burn the place down if it meant one more breath for her. That's when the temperature in the room drops, or maybe it heats up. Hard to say, but heavy boots echo down the hall, and heads turn as this big guy, Jake Riley, strides in like he owns the joint, leather jacket creaking, tattoos peeking out from rolled-up sleeves, the patch on his back screaming Storm Riders, that outlaw biker club everyone's heard whispers about, the ones who rumble through town like thunder, feared for good reason. Jake's got scars that tell stories you don't want to hear, eyes that have seen too much road and too little mercy, but he stops dead, takes in to see Mia's limp form, Maria's broken pleas, Harlan's smug clipboard, and without a word, he slams both fists on the counter so hard the pins scatter like roaches, making Harlan jump back, face draining white as he stammers, "Sir, you can't just..." But Jake cuts him off with a growl low as an idling Harley. "Prep the damn room, now, or you'll wish you had." The waiting room holds its breath, Maria lifting her head, tears blurring her vision, wondering if this tattooed stranger's some angel or devil stepping out of the shadows and what he does next. Yeah, it flips the whole script, shocks everyone, including me when I first heard it retold around a campfire years later. See, Jake doesn't ask questions, doesn't play nice digs into his pocket, slaps down a wad of cash thick as a brick, followed by a black credit card that looks like it could buy the hospital twice over, and barks, "Name's Riley. Bill it all to me. Start the oxygen, call PEDS, and if she crashes while you're dithering, you'll answer to minute a threat, just fact." Harlan's jaw works like he's chewing glass, eyes darting to the card, then to Jake's ink-snarled arms. But the nurses? They're already moving, wheeling out a gurney, lifting Mia with that careful urgency you see in folks who've held too many fragile things, masking her face, clamping the pulse ox, teddy bear tucked under the blanket like a silent promise. Maria stumbles forward, gasping she's the mom, and Jake catches her arm just as her legs buckle, steadying her with a gruff, "Go with her. Keep that locket on, it's yours, not theirs." And she loops it back around her neck, the engraved heart thumping against her chest like a second pulse, a reminder of her own mom's stories from harder times, when hope was all they had. Harlan clears his throat, trying to reclaim some ground. "We need signatures, proof, authorization," and Jake snatches the clipboard, scrawls his name in bold caps without glancing at the fine print, shoving it back with, "There, you've got it and you've got me watching, so do your job right." The doors whoosh shut behind Mia's bed, Maria glancing back once, meeting Jake's eyes, seeing something raw there, not pity, not show, just this quiet steel that says keep fighting, and she nods, disappearing into the bright lights, leaving the crowd to exhale in whispers. A security guard edging closer, then thinking better of it, backing off with a shrug like, hey, not worth the hassle. Jake sinks into a chair that groans under his weight, rubbing a scarred knuckle, staring down the hall where they vanished. And that's when the ghosts hit him, flashes of a kid version of himself, 10 years old, in a dingy clinic back in his hometown, watching his mom beg a clerk for meds to fight the cancer eating her alive, offering her wedding ring, only to get it pushed back with the same cold line about policies and payments. She didn't make it. That night branded him, turned a scared boy into a man who built walls of leather and loyalty, leading the Storm Riders not just for the thrill, but to flip the bird at a world that lets the vulnerable slip through cracks. No wonder he couldn't walk away. Maria's cry echoed his mom's. Mia's fight mirrored his own survival. And damn if he was going to let history repeat on his watch. A nurse pushes through later with more forms, voice neutral but eyes flicking to his patches like she's recalibrating what outlaw means. We need a responsible party. And Jake stands. Put me down until that kid's breathing easy. I'm family. Harlan snatches the board back, sputtering about verification protocols, but Jake's gaze levels him, heavy as a tire on gravel. Verify faster. Doc, lives don't wait on red tape. The nurse nods, softened by the panic still humming in the air. Thanks for stepping up, but Jake shakes his head. Don't thank me, fix her. And somewhere down the hall, Maria's sob mixes with relief, the sound of brakes screeching just before the cliff. As the night drags, Jake stays planted, arms crossed in the corner while they wheel Mia through procedures, intubating, running lines, monitors screeching, then steadying in. Maria paces outside the glass, twisting that locket till her neck's raw, turning on him once in frustration. Why aren't you freaking out? Don't you care? His eyes flash, voice low and edged. I care plenty, but panic's a killer. Breathe steady for her. Show her strength. She freezes, resentment flickering then fading, because beneath his armor, she spots the tremor in his fist, the echo of his own old wounds. And when the doc finally emerges, face tight, saying, she's stable, crisis past, but next hours are key. Maria sags against the wall, sobs breaking free, and Jake's shoulders ease just a notch, relief cracking his stone facade. But word spreads like wildfire. Be morning. Whispers in the cafeteria turn to buzz in the halls. Folks saying the biker boss shook the building with his fists, froze the docks till they moved in. Soon cameras cluster outside, reporters hungry for the scoop. Outlaw turns hero? Maria feels the shift, nurses peeking in more than needed, a mom in the hall grabbing her hand. Bless him, my sister went through the same hell. No insurance, no help. Then comes Detective Larson, badge gleaming, eyeing Jake's vest like it's evidence. Heard about the disturbance, you made a scene. Riley, why the sudden charity? Jake leans back, calm as a flat road. Kid was dying. No one listened. That's not a scene. That's stepping up when others won't. Larson presses Maria. You know who he is? Storm Riders aren't exactly Boy Scouts. And she straightens, gripping Mia's hand. I know he's why my girl's alive. That's who he is to me. Larson leaves with a huff, suspicion trailing like exhaust, but Maria turns to Jake after. They don't buy it. Think there's an angle, and he shrugs. Faint smile ghosting his lips, no warmth. Just right. Let him talk. Fear builds myths, but breaking one makes him question everything. The day unravels in tension. Media frenzy building, headlines swing from biker savior to gang leader's PR stunt. And Elena, wait. Maria steps up in an interview that slips past security, voice shaking then stealing. This wasn't fake. Me daughter was fading. Hospital turned us away like trash, but he listened. He acted. Judge that, not rumors. Social media erupts, some cheering the underdog win, others sneering it's a cover for shady deals. But down deep, Jake's phone buzzes with crew texts. Cops circling, rivals mocking this soft spot, allies uneasy under the spotlight. He scrolls once, tosses it aside. None of it tops Mia's chest rising steady now, color creeping back. By afternoon, engines roar outside, dozens of Storm Riders lining the curb, bikes gleaming, patches proud not for show, for shield, because when their leader stands for a kid, they all do. Families gawk, a kid tugs his mom's sleeve, bad guys are good, and she hesitates, line blurring right there under the sun. Maria watches from the window, turns to Jake, they're here for you. But he nods at Mia. For her, nobody touches you while we're around. That night, she asks the burning question, voice soft in the humming quiet. Why risk it all, Rep? Club, freedom for strangers. His gaze holds hers, memory flickering like an old film. Because I was that powerless kid once, watching my mom beg and lose, swore, if I ever had the muscle to change it, I would. Hesitation costs lives, and I've paid enough. Dawn breaks on day 3, Mia twitching fingers around her bare, cheeks pinker, Doc admitting she's turning the corner, maybe out of ICU soon, and Maria whispers prayers over that locket, gratitude swelling till it chokes her. Outside, the world split praise for redemption. Doubt that one act erases a lifetime of rough edges, and as Jake rises to leave, leather creaking, he pauses at the door, nodding once. Take care of her, yourself the rest. It'll shake out. She touches his hand, scarred over hers. You gave us a future, Will, because of you. Engines thunder to life as he walks into the night, leaving a story that echoes. The outlaw who heard a plea and chose mercy, flipping indifference on its head. But here's the thing that nags at me still, was it pure heart, or did Jake rewrite his own ghosts, using Mia to settle an old score with the system? Does one act wash away the shadows, or just cast longer ones? I dunno, hits different depending on where you stand. What about you? Ever seen mercy clash with reputation like that? Drop a comment, share your take on justice, community blind spots, or if bikers like Jake deserve a second look. Hit like if it got you thinking. Subscribe for more real-life twists that remind us life's messier than the headlines. And bell on so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for listening. Stay real out there.